Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Shino. Happy Halloween. Hope you're having a great holiday, getting ready for it, and doing all your decorations. Hey, I've been in such a mood, been a little bit of creative mood, and been having a lot of time with a lot of fun with the holidays. So I decided I wanted to bring a little bit of Halloween into Vintage Story. And so what I've done is I've created a little cemetery. Now we're in my creative build world. So this is, I'm in, my home and everything's back over there. And I wanted to create a little cemetery area. So we're going to take a quick tour here at night and get a look at it. All right. So I put in some tombstones and again, using the chisel to create different kind of textures and contours around it. And you could go in and actually put names and such in there. You'll see I've done some dates up there. But you can, here's a little taller one just for inspiration. Now this is interesting too. Let me get this light off of my bar here. And you can see we have light in here. So I have gone through and underneath some of these brushes, I've put lamps and then put the leaf blocks on top of them to kind of create some ambient lighting inside the cemetery. So I think that's a really cool spooky effect. And then of course, no cemetery is good without a forget-me-not. You've got to have the forget-me-nots in there. Here's another tombstone design, a little different from the other one we had over there. And then you have the big blank canvas that you can write on. And this is actually, if I go to the chisel, you can see that the block actually extends backwards. So this is the front edge of the block face right here. And that way I've been able to put some muddy gravel in. That muddy gravel then helps it look like recently disturbed earth. Here's another large one that you can use here. And I like these big, large effects. Now, all of these are made with shale. You can use any blocks you want. You can use granite, whatever. Here's another big one of the crosses. And I've actually chiseled out through the cross so that the light passes through it. And then contoured around the edge to kind of create that kind of nice look. And I love the base of this, And again, that's just single block chiseled using the single wide moving down through there to create that. And then put, some flower pots around it to represent, people have come by and visited their family and left them behind. Now I did, this is a Redwood Forest, and I thought the Crimson King maple would look beautiful in here, and it really does. Helps stand out just a little bit. You'll see it a little more in the daylight. Then I went through and added some of additional vines in here, a few cobwebs around different places, and then it may not have grown yet, but there is a ebony that's back in here that I'm wanting to kind of get to grow as well, so that we have a little more difference in tree life. So let's look at the mausoleum. I'm really happy with the mausoleum. And we're going to go into a little more detail on the mausoleum, but there you go. So I've carved in using just a standard 4 wide per number, and I just put in the date 1864. You could put a name in here, a family name or a date or whatever you want, And there's not a whole lot to this from behind. Now these are all polished granite. And I've just gone through and chiseled just a couple layers off just to kind of create, just show, what you can do with it. But I did put one of the iron doors on it. And then I've created, just to kind of give it a little bit of looking like it's going down into a darker area. I created, this is just, I think, 3 blocks wide and 1 block tall, and just stair-stepped the granite, and then added in, as far as a multi-block goes, then added in some shale and some slate to kind of create some contrast in color, so that when you're looking down through there, it'll give it a semblance of a staircase going down into nothing, right? There you go. So that is the cemetery, and I like it. You know, I have gone, here's another one over here where I've added a little bit of light back behind it to backlight, put a fern in front of it, just to kind of disperse the light a little bit so it's not so great. But I think it does a great job of, so it's not so bright, but it diffuses it. That's the word I'm looking for. It diffuses it. So let me know what you think. Now I'm going to go into, there's another little tombstone over here I want to show here. And this is to symbolize a tombstone that's been knocked over. And I've shown some of the broken pieces here, broken in that as well. So the tombstone's been knocked over. Probably, a tree limb's fallen down over the years and has knocked it down. And then I just used the stone fence, and I think this is from a mod pack, and I think it's Better Roads is what this is from. But this is shale dry stone fence that's been added in. And then I have used the aged path blocks going in front. So let's bring up the daylight because this is getting pretty spooky. Let's bring this up so we can get a look at it. Here we go. Back into daylight. All right, so now you can get a little bit of better look of it, and you can see some of the details of it. Added in some dead crops here and there, a few plants, not a whole lot, just put in a couple ferns in different places. But now you can get a better look at how I've done this and how I've laid it out. So interesting little area. I love the crotons inside the potted plants. Those look fantastic. Here's an eagle fern over in this one. But anyways, yeah, you can use, if you wanted to, you could, using the chisel, you can go down to this lower level here and knock out and create a frame around this and then add some dates, or you can just go ahead and carve it right here on it and add in some dates. Here lies, whatever you want to put on there. Again, here's one of the large monuments. I think they call these like the framed monument, but there you go. There's a large one there that you can do some decorating with. And let's take a look at the cross so you can see the details of the cross, light passing through it. Really like this design. You can see I've recessed it here as well and on the sides to give it a little more depth to it. So it helps catch the light, especially at night with that light on it. It catches the light and shows up really well. And then a closer look at the mausoleum. Again, this is not, you could, if you wanted to, you can go ahead and actually create a staircase down there. I just didn't want to create too much space going down into it. So what I've done is I've kind of laid it out over here. It's 3 blocks of granite, and these are multi-blocks. So if I hit the F key, I've shown this before, you've got the 3 different textures within that one block. So I just did a rough carve down first, wide step, and then get a little narrower and a little narrower. And then instead of stepping by 4, we're stepping by 2. So that from forest perspective, looking down at it from here, it'll look like it continues on and on. And then I went in and added in some, thinned out the sides by adding in a little bit of the shale along the edge, and then stepped it in. So when you're looking at it from up here, it looks like steps going down and getting smaller, which would put your focal point, out here for perspective. So that's how I did that. I've had a lot of fun with this. I think this looks fantastic. I really enjoy taking and putting a little bit of life into the world. The world that Vintage Story developers have created for us is very vibrant. There's a lot of opportunities in there, but the one thing you're lacking is seeing what other people have done, and that's why I like when we get into the Vintage Story game of going in and creating for ourselves these little storylines. And so that's what I was thinking about when I was putting this together. I was like, there's been people here before and they've passed away, and they weren't just left to rot on the surface. People took care of them. So that's what I've done here, is kind of simulate where people have been taken care of. So hope you enjoy it. I enjoy doing these kind of things. Let me know in the comments what you like, and I would love to see more examples of what you can come up with for mausoleums, and maybe put something together for Halloween. All right. Hey, happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for spending time with me, and we'll see you in the game. Take care.